أصحاب المعالي والسعادة، الوفود المشاركة، أهلا بكم مجددا. أطلب من الجميع الدخول إلى القاعة لاستئناف الجلسات وإكمال المهام. ضيوفنا الأعزاء، نستأنف الآن إجراءاتنا بجزء خاص جدا، وهو الإعلان حول كيفية تخطيط التنفيذ السريع للتحالف العالمي. ولإدارة هذه الجلسة وتقديم الملاحظات الهامة، يسعدني أن أدعو إلى المنصة السيد ريناتو دوميث، مدير آلية الدعم للتحالف العالمي لمكافحة الجوع والفقر، فليتفضل.
Thank you very much, Muna. And while we wait, I think some delegations are taking their chairs. I will introduce this session. It will go before we resume our high-level session of the day in the afternoon. We have now a special session that I hope will be short and dynamic. We have been, for the last months, I think 6 months already, working on the Global Alliance Fast Track Implementation Planning Initiative. So this is the object of the folders that you have on your desks. It is also the object of the slides that are rotating on the screen. It is an essential part of the work of the Global Alliance Against Hunger and Poverty. As Minister Wellington Diaz has said, the Alliance is all of us. The Alliance is all of its members, and how to apply the collective capacity of these members to advance the implementation in country of practical, pragmatic, concrete programs and policies against hunger and poverty. This is the big obstacle that we all face, and this is one attempt that this initiative is pushing to try and address this challenge. So many of the high-level speakers this morning have mentioned the importance of country ownership and country leadership. This is the first principle that the Global Alliance Against Hunger and Poverty takes on. The second principle is regarding putting forward and in front and center the needs of the poorest and most vulnerable. The third is to base ourselves on what has worked, on the experiences and concrete attempts and lessons and successes and failures of all our countries in implementing programs against hunger and poverty on the ground, focusing on evidence-based lessons in the field. So, and the fourth principle and last that we are trying to apply is to create synergies and cooperation and coordination and better integration among the actions of so many that are willing to step forward in this fight. So we want to highlight the results of this initiative so far. It is a pilot initiative of the Global Alliance that will be scaled up. As Minister Wellington Diaz announced this morning in his opening intervention, from now we have tried the fast-track implementation initiative with a small subset of countries, and from then on, with full capacity of the support mechanism, we'll be able to address the needs of more countries in future waves. So to discuss the work and the results so far that are also being announced in a press release that went out this morning, we are very glad to invite here a powerful set of speakers. We will be splitting them into two groups. So I wish to invite first to stage Her Excellency Doreen Sifuki Mwamba, Member of Parliament and Minister of Community Development and Social Services of Zambia, to join on stage. Mr. Giamelli Rigolini, Senior Advisor for Social Protection and Labor of the World Bank. Ms. Jen Hogan, Head of Global Food Security, Agriculture and Land in the FCDO, United Kingdom. Ambassador Jean-Marie François Guillaume from Haiti, Ambassador of the Republic of Haiti to the State of Qatar. And Mr. Ferdinando Regalia, Manager of the Inter-American Development Bank Social Sector. Good, so welcome to the stage. I will highlight that the Fast Track Implementation Initiative had a few steps. The transition support team that was supporting the work of the Alliance before the formal constitution of the mechanism, the Secretariat, so to speak, has put forward this tentative list of countries, working with the Board of Champions. These countries have developed their own pre-plans, their own implementation plans for different policies and programs tied to the policy basket. And then an open call was put out for every Global Alliance member to express an interest in those programs, on how they can support. This is a non-binding expression of interest to let the work go to the phase 4, which is the constitution of country roundtables for each and every country program that will discuss the practicalities on how to implement the program, how to finalize, how to fill in the details, and most particularly, how each partner can fit in using its own budget, its own processes, its own programs and approaches. So it is a very complex work that is still ongoing. So we started with 13 different countries, and they are all ongoing. So and here we invited a sample of the 4 countries that have advanced the most, and one country that is standing out among the list of countries to be one of the next that will reach this phase 4. So I will start with Minister from Zambia, Minister of Community Development and Social Services. Zambia has been a real champion in this work, so has engaged strongly and powerfully with many ministries' full attention in our implementation planning process. And I want to hear you, Minister, from your experience and about the plan that Zambia has developed, and what is the added value that you have seen from this whole process from the perspective of your implementing country.
Thank you, Chairperson, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests. Zambia is indeed honored to be part of this inspiring global collusion. For us in Zambia, the Global Alliance is not just partnership. It's a catalyst for transformation, to transform our poor and vulnerable households. It brings together our national priorities on poverty reduction, food security, and climate resilience into one powerful agenda for inclusive growth. Zambia's commitment is anchored on our flagship, the Social Cash Transfer Program, which covers 30% of the national population of the country and 66% of the most poorest and vulnerable households in the country. But our focus goes beyond just income support. We want to integrate livelihood development, nutritional support, education access, climate smart agriculture, and ensure that our poor households are not only protected, but are empowered for them to thrive. In this regard, we are proud that Zambia has been selected as one of the first countries to participate in the fast-track process under the Sprint 2030 initiative. This engagement has given us strengthened platform and structured platform to accelerate results across the 6 global priorities. Through our collaboration with the Alliance, we have now embarked on developing the national pre-plan, aligning Zambia's programs with global evidence and mobilizing partnerships for scale-up. The first track process is enabling deeper technical cooperation with development banks, the UN agencies, and governments, ensuring that Zambia's innovation in social protection and climate resilience can attract the investment and expertise needed to reach more of our people, especially in the remotest rural areas of the country. Chair, I submit.
Thank you so much for these words, which really translate the leadership that Zambia has demonstrated in the whole process and continues to. It is an ongoing process. And now I need to apologize for having misplaced His Excellency Mr. Faisal Ali Ibrahim, Ambassador of Ethiopia to the State of Qatar. I had misplaced you in the second group, but I invite you to the stage. Ethiopia Ambassador is also championing a flagship program in your country. If Zambia's is an example of a program in the social protection space, Ethiopia's Yelemat Tirufat is an example of a program in the food production space. So we'd like to hear also from you your experience and perspectives on that implementation.
Chair. Yeah. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, it's a great honor for me to share the experience of Ethiopia in terms of our very flagship national program. We call it Yelemat Turufat, which means the bounty of basket. This initiative is a homegrown initiative pioneered by our Prime Minister, Dr. Abiy Ahmed, and it draws upon local knowledge and indigenous resources and community participation to boost productivity in key agricultural subsectors, especially in dairy, poultry, honey and fish and meat. Through full and effective implementation of Yelemat Turufat, Ethiopia aimed by 2030 to triple its livestock productivity. It's also aimed to increase farmers' incomes by 40% and reduce also post-harvest losses by 60%. The initiative targets, it's a very grassroots and broad-based level. It covers 20,000 villages nationwide. This is through mobilizing domestic means and the knowledge to enhance productivity and strengthen value chain across the country. Of course, we take this opportunity to commend all our partners who have already pledged technical and financial support for the Bounty of the Basket initiative, which is already been changing the lives of thousands of the needy community. In particular, we extend our sincere appreciation to the African Development Bank for its steadfast partnership throughout the planning and implementation of the phase. The bank has pledged 65 million concessional financing for the poultry value chain, which is a significant contribution that will strengthen Ethiopia's national food system. We also express our heartfelt thanks to the government of Spain, World Vision, and the United Kingdom, UNIDO, and FAO for their valuable pledges. Our deep appreciation also goes to the Federative Republic of Brazil for its generous commitment to train over 480 agricultural extension workers, which is a vital investment in human capital and the local capacity building. The innovative structure of Global Alliance Against Hunger and Poverty, which facilitates direct engagement between program countries and the technical, financial, and knowledge partners, is already producing tangible results in my country. This approach enables countries like us to mobilize resources for specific, targeted components of their national food security and poverty reduction strategies, ensuring that support is both context appropriate and impact driven. Ethiopia reaffirms that all pledged and delivered resources will be utilized transparently and effectively to achieve the objectives of the Yelma Turufat program and our broader food security agenda. Within the framework of the Global Alliance, Ethiopia remains fully committed to working closely with all partners to mobilize additional tangible support, exchange best practices, and accelerate progress towards global goals of eradicating hunger and poverty. I thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ambassador. And thank you for highlighting some of the concrete announcements and partnerships that have already been achieved for Ethiopia. These announcements and others from the countries that are here today and some others that could not be present here in the session, we wouldn't have time for all. They are all displayed in the website, and we had a press release for this meeting in general, and another one specifically focusing on the announcements from these country-led processes. I invite you, they are already on display in the Global Alliance website if you wish to reproduce and create awareness of these results. So you have highlighted the many partnerships built on finance, on knowledge, and I think finance is a great challenge, making it happen. So of course domestic finance is the purview of the implementing countries, but many of them, need to benefit from also external financing support. And I'm turning here to my left. The World Bank is the big fish in the pond for financing social protection, at least. Many other areas of the Alliance policy basket. It is the single greatest purveyor of multilateral or any source of external financing cooperation. At the same time, the World Bank has submitted expressions of interest to several of the country programs here. But there are also, obstacles regarding how to unlock this finance in step with the country plans. So I've turned to you on your perspectives on this new process, which is also a learning process for everyone. And what do you need, Jamele Rigolini, what would the World Bank need from the countries, from the partners to help bind the multilateral finance with country implementation, country ownership, and the knowledge provision from other partners, how to combine those?
Thank you. we are at a pivotal moment, one marked by global uncertainty and fiscal stress, but also by a unique opportunity to reimagine how we invest in people. And the Global Alliance has brought renewed focus to the foundational goals of ending poverty and hunger, which is good, and to the critical role of social protection in creating jobs and expanding opportunity. So at the World Bank, we share these goals. That's why at the G20 summit, establishing the Global Alliance, we committed to support countries in expanding social protection to 500 million more people, half of them women, by 2030. And it is not just about numbers, it's about aligning global resources and national priorities to build resilient, inclusive systems that leave no one behind. Now, what do we need? We need commitment. And I think that's something that we discuss over, quite a lot. The MDBs, not only the World Bank, are demand-led institutions. So we do need countries to actually work with finance ministries and with our local representatives to actually generate demand for social protection support. That, I think, it's a great mechanism, because it forces to put social protection into a broader development perspective. Not everything is about social protection. Countries have different needs. So we really need to make a strong argument, not only about the need and the impact of social protection, which is substantial, but also how social protection complements other initiatives and fits well into a broader long-term development perspective. And that's where I think the Global Alliance plays a central role. Very often, we have donors or agencies that actually have a pretty monothematic focus, including our own unit of social protection. The fact that the Global Alliance is country-led, that countries come, and after a decision process that involves finance ministries and other ministries ask for social protection, is very important to us, because we can then go back to these countries and discuss the financing. So my plea is that I'm happy to see here all the Ministers of Social Development, the Minister of Labor, but we really need to involve, for us to be able to play that role, the Ministers of Finance. And that's a discussion we look forward to have with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gemelli. So the message is taken. The Alliance has also, with the support of Brazil, helped to host a meeting during the World Bank annual meetings in DC about precisely that. It's important not only that ministries of social development are involved, but also the ministries of finance, and explain the value of programs against hunger and poverty, that every cent provided to these programs come back, and this is our experience in Brazil, come back more than once, sometimes twice, back to the economy in return. So let's keep the financing tack and turn to Jen Hogan from the UK. Jen, the UK has also been very active in providing expressions of interest to different programs, and we heard today from your minister announcements that could be applicable to the countries that are sitting here in this podium. So we were very happy to see that. But still, like the point of my question to Gemelli, there are still obstacles, no, on how to align the timings and the scheduling and the processes of each different partner to apply to countries. So how you've seen this process and how to improve it moving forward?
Thanks, Renato. Your Excellencies, friends, good afternoon. We responded to a number of EOIs, including, with great delight, Zambia and Ethiopia here on the panel, as part of the new development approach that the UK Minister set out this morning, where we're really seeking to better respond to partner countries' prioritizing, supporting you to strengthen your own systems and to lead your own processes, and to help catalyse those wider investments and wider action that you mentioned, Minister. So we very happily responded to a number of EOIs, really reaffirming our commitment to those countries and to tackling hunger and poverty. So we're really proud to be supporting action in Ethiopia and Zambia and beyond. We've been a long-term partner in Zambia. Over the past 2 decades, the minister this morning announced the new 6-year Zambia Poverty Reduction Programme that will help build climate resilience, support social protection, support families out of poverty in Zambia, and in Ethiopia, adding to our existing portfolio to provide additional technical assistance in response to your ask for support on the livestock sector productivity, really drawing on our investment in expertise and investment in agri-food and in market systems that we've had for a number of years in the country. We're still looking to build on the existing portfolios of cooperation and friendship in other places to support other fast-track plans. We've been discussing Palestine, Rwanda, Tanzania, and others are obviously interested in coming forward. And looking ahead, I think a number of priorities stand out as we've been reflecting on the past year and responsiveness to those plans. One is the critical importance of country-level coordination. It really needs to be as strong as global coordination to avoid parallel processes, but also to add real value to what is there at country level, where we're all in quite daily contact with teams and between ministries and different players, to make sure that the demand-led, country-driven process actually gets resources where they're needed most. You know where those needs are. Secondly, at all levels, we do need to work within and have flexibility to be able to build in the reality of diverse financial instruments and processes. You all know that each of us have our own processes, which must cause you many headaches on the ground. But our decisions depend on established budget cycles and processes and constraints, which is why partly we need to build in a range of channels to lift and target finance, including raising political demand for concessional lending, just as Yamela was just setting out there from the World Bank's perspective. Equally thinking about the role of philanthropic finance in this space to blend and add resources. But we are all working in slightly different way and in different formats. And lastly, we really see a value add going forward for the Alliance to build on its strategic work to help unlock these diverse finance streams and to deliver better value. We all want to get more value for the money that we have, which is so constrained in a really turbulent and difficult world. So to that end, we're really pleased to be moving forward with technical and analytical work, with the ODI global report to be published soon, thinking about what might those options be for a potential virtual coordination mechanism that might help us to get better targeting and to reduce the fragmentation of financing, particularly in social protection, but could be applied to other areas, but with social protection as its centre of gravity, to really reduce the fragmentation that Brazil and the Alliance has known from its setup, of really reducing the value for money that we can get for the resources. So I think together we've laid the groundwork and set the foundations, and now together, country level and globally, strategically, we need to deliver.
Thank you so much, Jen, for highlighting these thoughts and possibilities. We all, I think, look forward to the report you mentioned and how we can proceed in next steps. I mean, to one more mechanism or solution to help in this fragmentation. So I will turn to the ambassador of Haiti, Jean-Marie Francois Jr. Guillaume. Haiti has done a country plan that is also very impressive and trying to prove that you can do country-led development for national systems, social protection systems that are off the country and that can be operated in the country, trying to create, merge or integrate different systems and humanitarian work that has been on the course of the country, which is now facing, of course, serious hardship, but then proving how even then you can build systems that can then respond to the demand and to future stresses. So it was a good example that I want to hear more about.
Thank you. Excellences, distingués partenaires, chers collègues, Mesdames et Messieurs, c'est un grand honneur pour moi de prendre la parole devant cette auguste assemblée. En ma qualité d'ambassadeur d'Haïti au Qatar, en représentation du directeur général du Fonds d'assistance économique et sociale, malheureusement empêché, et au nom du gouvernement haïtien, je suis ici pour présenter le plan d'Haïti dans le cadre de l'Alliance mondiale contre la pauvreté et la faim. Permettez-moi tout d'abord de remercier chaleureusement l'État du Qatar, non seulement pour l'accueil de cet important forum, mais aussi pour son soutien constant au développement du système éducatif haïtien. Je tiens également à saluer le président Lula de la République fédérative du Brésil pour son rôle déterminant dans le lancement de cette alliance mondiale. Ce plan ne marque pas un nouveau départ, mais s'inscrit dans la continuité d'un long parcours national. Il est solidement ancré dans la politique nationale de protection et de promotion sociale, élaborée par le ministère des Affaires sociales et du Travail depuis 2020. Cette politique exprime l'engagement d'Haïti en faveur d'une protection sociale universelle et inclusive et traduit la vision d'un pays qui aspire à l'équité sociale. Le plan présenté aujourd'hui traduit cette vision en actions concrètes et mesurables. Notre objectif est de réduire de moitié la pauvreté extrême et l'insécurité alimentaire d'ici 2030, en touchant plus de 550 000 ménages, dont 100 000 familles dès la première phase. Le programme repose sur 4 composantes intégrées qui vont du secours d'urgence à l'autonomisation à long terme. Ces interventions s'alignent directement sur les axes stratégiques du plan. En premier lieu, la protection de l'enfance. Deuxièmement, l'emploi et l'employabilité. Troisièmement, la protection sociale en matière de santé et de vieillesse. Et quatrièmement, la réponse au choc. Nos principes fondamentaux restent la solidarité, l'universalité et l'égalité de genre. La mise en œuvre du plan est confiée au ministère des Affaires sociales, une institution qui dispose d'une solide expérience dans la gestion des politiques et programmes sociaux d'envergure nationale. Nous nous appuyons sur les systèmes existants, notamment le registre social du SIMACT, des outils de paiement numérique, ainsi que des mécanismes rigoureux de suivi, d'évaluation et de redevabilité pour garantir la transparence, l'efficacité et l'appropriation nationale. Ce plan repose sur un socle solide d'interventions déjà en cours, menées avec le soutien financier et technique constant de nos partenaires internationaux. La Banque interaméricaine de développement joue un rôle déterminant en finançant plusieurs programmes sociaux d'envergure, renforçant ainsi nos filets de sécurité existants. La Banque mondiale contribue à la mise en place d'un système de protection sociale opérationnel, facilitant la transition cruciale d'une approche humanitaire vers une approche de développement durable. Les apports du Fonds monétaire international via la facilité de choc alimentaire et de bien d'autres partenaires ont grandement contribué à alléger la situation des personnes les plus vulnérables du pays. Ces initiatives ont permis aux bénéficiaires de générer des revenus, d'accéder à la formation professionnelle et d'améliorer leur sécurité alimentaire, même en période de grande crise. Le plan présenté dans le cadre de l'Alliance mondiale permettra d'intensifier ces avancées et d'unifier les efforts dispersés. Il marque une nouvelle étape décisive. Passer de la simple protection à la promotion, à l'assistance ponctuelle, à une inclusion sociale et économique durable, avec pour objectif final le développement durable d'Haïti. Avant de conclure, je souhaite exprimer au nom du gouvernement haïtien notre profonde gratitude à tous nos partenaires pour leur engagement indéfectible aux côtés d'Haïti. Haïti traverse aujourd'hui une période de fragilité et de vulnérabilité sans précédent. Nous comptons sur le soutien continu des pays et des institutions amies pour nous aider à améliorer durablement les conditions des vies de nos concitoyens. Au nom du gouvernement et du peuple haïtien, je vous remercie tous.
Merci, Monsieur l'ambassadeur. Mes condoléances aussi pour le dégât et la perte advenue du ouragan Mélissa, qui a empêché aussi les représentants d'Haïti de venir de Port-au-Prince. Merci beaucoup pour votre intervention.
Merci.
I'll turn back to English to call on the Inter-American Development Bank and Mr. Ferdinando Regalia. The IDB has, to my recollection, made possibly the most impressive announcement on the launch of the alliance in the G20 last year, when the president of IDB announced that the availability of up to $25 billion, you all heard it right, on financing against hunger and poverty, in line with the goals of the alliance, paired with $200 million in concessional technical support. So I will ask you also, we just heard it from Haiti. IDB is a strong supporter of Haiti. It's also a strong supporter of the Haiti's pre-plan under this initiative, and is a strong candidate to continue supporting other plans that are coming from Latin America. We heard from some of them today as well that they will be joining the fray. So I wish to hear from you also the limitations and what is the experience of IDB in this, and how to unlock those finance that were announced, and what kinds of conditions are needed to push this forward.
Thank you, Chair. In the morning, I made some remarks about the global commitment and where we are, where we stand. And I would like to focus this intervention on Haiti, because it deserves the attention. So the IDB is a long-standing partner of Haiti. We have financed cash transfer in the amount of $450 million since 2018. We never left Haiti, and we will never leave Haiti. And I think I want to make the point that, as the ambassador stressed, we worked even in very volatile environment to put the country at the center of the leadership of the strategy. Particularly, I want to recognize the Minister of Social Affairs and Labor and the Economic and Social Assistance Fund. All funds go through them, although then they are helping implementation with other agencies. Now, when we joined the alliance, we start thinking forward. We knew that this day was coming a year from now. So since last year, since the launch of the alliance in last year in 2024 November, we approved $71 million in grants additional to support the implementation track. So financing while we build the plane. And I would like to make a couple of considerations. This amount of money will be enough to cover just 310,000, is an important number of households for the next 3 years. So there is an important financial gaps. The work of the Alliance builds on strong partnership between IDB, World Bank, World Food Programme, and many other agencies are working there, with very important Asian NGOs and international NGOs in the implementation. But I would suggest that we can refine and go deeper in this technical discussion, for example, reaching a unified approach regarding cash transfers in the country or cash forward scheme. I think there is still room for improvement, and also stronger and more impactful capacity building in a unified approach. Then I would like to stress also what my colleague from the World Bank stressed. The success of this plan will rely on a deep involvement of the Minister of Finance. I know you wanted to be here, but unfortunately, Arik and Melissa didn't allow it. And the role of the Minister of Finance is very important because at the end of the day, for example, IDB this year approved $174 million in grant. 43 are going to cash transfer, and other 130 are going to maternal neonatal child health and school feeding program, together with a great alliance with GPE, the Global Partnership for Education, the Qatar Education Above All, and the World Food Programme. So there is an issue of choices that need to be developed, and I think this is what the alliance will help to strengthen it. And finally, let me conclude that our support to Haiti is unwavering, and we will support Haiti and the success of this fast-track implementation plan going forward. And thanks very much for allowing us to do so.
Thank you, Ferdinando. A round of applause for our speakers in this group. We are a bit behind time, so let's thank you again for your participation. And without further ado, I wish also to call on stage the next round on speakers. We have more announcements and discussions to make regarding the Fast Track initiative. Please come to the stage, Mr. Felix Adoyo, Director of Resilience from the National Drought Management Authority, Government of Kenya. Mr. Maximo Torero, Chief Economist of FAO. Mr. Merdad Essani, Vice President of the Food Initiative at the Rockefeller Foundation. Mr. Rajib Kumar, Program Director and Additional Secretary in Niti Aayog from India. And last but not at all least, Dr. Sama Hamad, have the honor to have with us the Minister of Social Development from the State of Palestine. They're changing. We need a second to change the names. I think, Maximo, you're here, I think. Yes, I read you here. Yes. I'm here. This is so no one confuses our names. Very good. Welcome all. Thank you for being here. Some of you traveled very far. I wish to start with Felix Adoyo from the government of Kenya. Kenya is also participating in the fast track program with a very unique program, Magi Plus, that is working to bring water access to arid and semi-arid regions of Kenya, starting with schools, with this broader view on the water access in the interface of food security, gender empowerment, climate resilience, and many other aspects. I'd like to hear from that experience and Kenya's plans in the Magi Plus program.
Thank you. Thank you. Renato, Your Excellencies. Kenya's participation in the Global Alliance Fast Track reflects our conviction that resilience building is not by chance, but by design through adaptive social protection, inclusive partnerships, and community ownership. Our engagement is anchored in a joint statement of commitment by the State Department of Social Protection in Kenya and the National Drought Management Authority. The National Drought Management Authority, NDMA, coordinates drought risk management and climate change adaptation in Kenya, and this is achieved through resilience building for vulnerable communities in arid and semi-arid lands. And this focuses on 4 interlinked adaptive social protection priority: food and nutrition security, resilience building, and the progressive reduction of poverty and inequality. The Fast Track program pre-plan aligns fully with Kenya's bottom-up economic transformation agenda and the Ending Drought Emergencies framework, which are the twin pillars of our national effort to secure dignified livelihoods in the arid and semi-arid lands. Through the Global Alliance, we are translating policy ambition into coordinated national action that links humanitarian development, climate agendas to strengthen community resilience. A flagship outcome of our engagement is the rainwater harvesting for educational institutions in the ASAL regions, which is rebranded Magi Plus. This transformative initiative aims to provide sustainable water solutions for about 1,400 schools across 23 arid and semi-arid counties through rainwater harvesting and solar energy systems, complemented by kitchen gardens and fruit tree planting. Magi Plus will connect clean water with education, in nutrition, and health outcomes, especially for the girl child, who too often bears the burden of water collection. The initiative embodies Kenya's practical commitment to the Alliance's policy basket of advancing SDG 1 on poverty, SDG 2 on zero hunger, SDG 4 on quality education, and SDG 6 on clean water and sanitation. Through NDMA, the government of Kenya is mobilizing co-financing partnerships with development banks, bilateral partners, and the private sector to scale this model to a replicable high-impact investment that links social protection, climate adaptation, and resilience building. The fast-track mechanism has provided a powerful framework for the coordination and alignment among government agencies, development partners, and the civil society organizations. In Kenya, this has unified key programs including hunger safety net, protection, drought risk financing, livelihood resilience, and this demonstrates the Alliance's collaborative model works. Through these priorities, Kenya seeks to build a lasting bridge between early warning, anticipatory action, and long-term resilience, thereby contributing to the global goal of ending hunger and poverty on all its forms. We remain committed to deepening this partnership so that hunger and poverty become challenges of the past and not challenges of the future. I want to close by confirming our commitment as the NDMA and the government of Kenya that every dollar shall count. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Felix, and congratulations for the design of this program. As you say, sits in the crossroads of so many aspects of development in a very innovative design. So I will call now on the Chief Economist of FAO, Máximo Torero. FAO is one very big elephant in the room in the provision of knowledge for SDG 2, but also SDG 1. And really throughout the fast track process has been an example. So the UN institutions are complex organizations, but FAO has been in this process an example of an organization that has managed to mobilize country teams transversally across different departments and bring different kinds of support to align and apply with the different fast track plans. So I want to hear your perspective, having championed this process on how it is to bring that alignment on knowledge to the country-owned processes.
No, thank you very much, and congratulations on your new position. First, we are the big elephant, but with a panther spirit. We want to be very agile, so we will move very fast. FAO is fully committed to the 6 Global Alliance sprints and to the fast-track process. We have submitted expressions of interest to provide technical support to Ethiopia on smallholder farmer support, to Haiti on social protection, where we think we can do a quick transformation and work very strongly with the government, on Kenya on access to water, which is great to hear what is happening, on Rwanda on economic inclusion, and Tanzania on maternal and early childhood interventions, and Zambia on cash transfers. For us, bringing technical support on the pre-plans of each of these countries, including Cambodia, and also working with Dominican Republic, where we have a big program operation there, and also in Mozambique in maternal early childhood, is a way to accelerate this process. We are firmer believers that we can turn around the hunger number, and the way to do it is to work strongly in the region which is the mostly affected, which in this case is Africa, which is still the number is increasing, but also to accelerate a region which is improving, which is Latin America and the Caribbean. And that's why we're trying to balance our work in both regions so that we can achieve as much as we can. Also, in all these countries, FAO provide clearly defined value addition based on our technical expertise and our analytics, alongside with a track record on supporting policy implementation. So we want to bring the full package. It's not just the intervention itself, it's the policy design and how implement things properly so that the evidence of the policy basket instruments that are already validated are really implemented properly. Because you can have a design which is working properly and has been tested somewhere else, but if it is not implemented properly, the operational part, then you will fail. And that doesn't mean that the policy is wrong. It means that it was not implemented. So that's why we need to bring all those together. Allow me to briefly highlight our investment in one of the countries as an example, in Ethiopia. FAO has worked hand in hand with the government in developing the Jalemat Tirufat plan, and we have participated in all matchmaking roundtables and follow-up with the African Development Bank and the government to facilitate the investment. We are discussing right now on how to with both partners, possible technical support to conduct the required preliminary studies with the African Development Bank final investment decision. And our expertise also in designing these investment plans is of huge importance. FAO is also working with Ethiopia to strengthen donor coordination with the Rural Economic Development and Food Security Joint Working Group, the REFs, in addition contributing technical expertise in value chains, rural finance, and resilience, and we will provide around 5.7 million in leverage of support, including animal health capacity development for prevention and preparedness against zoonosis, AMR, as well as support to poultry and pastoral value chain development. And I think this is a very good example how we can create convergence, no? Because we work on One Health approach, of course. We have a huge technical group on animal health, And bringing all those other investments and converge to this plan under the alliance, I think, is what we are looking for, and that's how we are bringing together the financing pillar to the policy basket and to the action at the country level. So I think the case of Ethiopia and what we are trying to do with them will be a great example of this. Also, we are leveraging the Hand in Hand initiative, which follows the same logic of the alliance. We do targeting, very close targeting through geographical approaches, territorial approaches. We design interventions where we know we can reduce more hunger, and we do investment plans to attract financing. So leveraging from other initiatives is the way we want to move forward and try to accelerate that process. Beyond the fast-track country actions, FAO has actively contributed to the development of several policy instruments with the policy basket, as well as to drafting of the Alliance guidance notes for the financing for development and NDCs, and Belém Declaration on Hunger, Poverty, and People-Centered Climate Action. And we are going from here on Wednesday to the Belém leaders meeting, and we hope this can accelerate the process. The support mechanism, which is hosted at FAO, has established a multi-donor fund now, which is in 18.3 million, with 10.6 million received to date, so we need to still keep increasing. Significant support from Brazil, 8.47 million, 1 million from Norway, $870,000 from Spain, 300,000 from Portugal, and we heard today the 2 million euro from Germany. So FAO also has helped to build up the human capital team. I think by now you have a very good team, a dream team in the support mechanism, and we have hired 11 high-caliber professionals that will accelerate this process, and we hope to fill soon the 15 positions that were designed from the beginning. So again, our job is to help accelerate the process, and we are fully involved on the technical side, on the support side, but also converging. And again, what was mentioned earlier in the session before, that the demand also needs to come from the countries, no? And that's super important, and that the linkage between the finance minister and the agricultural ministry and the health ministry and the education ministry will be central to do that, so the finance minister can also transmit that demand to the IFIs so that we can create this convergence. I think the convergence of the financing to the policy basket and to implement in the country will be what will help us to succeed in the alliance. Thank you.
Thank you, Maximo, for highlighting the convergence and the nuts and bolts of policy implementation that are critical. The three pillars of the alliance, national finance knowledge, have to converge, and this is the approach that we're trying here. Let's turn to the philanthropies, and we have the luck to have some of the major philanthropic organizations as members of the alliance, including the Rockefeller Foundation, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, but they are still to realize their full potential in the fast-track approach, and we are happy that Rockefeller is leading now with a support that is driving knowledge and phased pilot implementation to help the Kenya Maji Plus approach. So I invite you also to comment on this and more broadly on how the philanthropies could add value to the process.
Thanks, Renato. I'm happy to say that the Rockefeller Foundation beat Gates to be the first philanthropy to join the alliance. No, but of course, we look to work collaboratively with everyone. Of course, we're very interested to work with Kenya. We have an office in Kenya on the water harvesting, and there's very interesting examples from Brazil, Colombia, even Liberia, on how water harvesting and school gardens can drive nutrition gains for communities. It's actually been shown to be more efficient than traditional agricultural extension methodologies. So we will be working with our WFP's Center of Excellence in Brazil to help Kenya on that. More widely, at the Nutrition for Growth conference in Paris, the Rockefeller Foundation committed $100 million towards expanding school meals by 100 million children by 2030 through sustainable public finance and using local procurement and increasingly regeneratively produced food. It's a tall order, but as part of that, in January, there will be a school meals accelerator being launched in Berlin. And the accelerator at this current capacity will be able to probably take on about 15 countries. I think quite a few of these countries could be potential fast-track countries. I know that there's others who are vying to put commitments on the table. So that could be a good area of synergy between the School Meals Coalition as accelerator and the Global Alliance. So we're looking to see how that could work. The accelerator also will help countries design school meals programs to get multi-sectoral outcomes and improve the value proposition of these investments. It will help countries figure out domestic finance opportunities, international finance opportunities. And if you look at on our website, you will find a toolkit. It's called Regenerative School Meals Financial Toolkit. And it gives examples of different kinds of innovative finance that governments can use to try to access and grow their school meals. So if you're interested, do reach out to us. We're happy to help other countries on that track. Finally, what I would mention, at the Paris Peace Forum last week on Thursday, France floated the idea of school meals being a G7 priority for 2026, which was very well received in the room. I would really encourage the Global Alliance to use its full measure of its political capital to push this over the line. I think it would be a great victory for the Alliance if one of its tracks was adopted by the G7. Thanks.
Thank you, Medal, for the Rockefeller leading support, first in the Fast Track initiative, also to the Kenya's program, and your highlight of school meals, which is another major program in the Alliance's policy basket, the work you're supporting on the School Meals Accelerator, and I also wish to highlight here to all Alliance members that there is work going on to ensure there is coordination and even beyond that, integration between the processes of the Alliance support mechanism and the future School Meals Accelerator, so that they operate as one whenever a school meals is concerned on behalf and for the needs of the Alliance member countries and the member countries of the School Meals Coalition. So with that, I will turn to India, Mr. Rajiv Kumar. So I think India is standing here for what the Alliance can unlock in terms of South-South cooperation. So much is said about South-South cooperation. India has a wealth of knowledge and experience in policies and programs that are very large scale, very successful against hunger and poverty, and has engaged in a number of and pushed expressions of interest to the programs in this Fast Track initiative. So we would like to hear from you how India intends to apply its experience and interface with the country's own plans under this initiative.
Thank you, Renato. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, it's my privilege to join this special session on the Fast Track process, a truly innovative approach by the Global Alliance Against Hunger and Poverty to accelerate country-led action on hunger and poverty. I also thank the government of Qatar for the excellent hospitality that has been provided to us. Our engagement builds on a long-standing belief that cooperation among developing countries through the sharing of experience, data systems, and institutional practices can accelerate progress on hunger and poverty eradication. The Fast Track initiative exemplifies how rapid and demand-driven engagement can catalyze large-scale government-owned programs even before the full support mechanism is operational. As one of the leading contributors to the policy basket, India has shared 13 country examples that showcase scalable and evidence-based approaches in poverty alleviation, nutrition, social protection, and women's empowerment. India is privileged to contribute to the shared endeavor through knowledge partnerships, having initially submitted expression of interest to extend support to Kenya, Haiti, and the United Republic of Tanzania, and had the honor of participating in the initial roundtable discussions with Kenya and Haiti under the Fast Track progress. In Kenya, India is pioneering under the water harvesting for educational institutions in arid and semi-arid lands initiative, which addresses water scarcity in the region. In Haiti, India has expressed readiness to provide knowledge support for the country's national policy for social protection and promotion. There are several other countries for which we are in the process of extending our expression of interest, and I'm sure that we'll be able to work with many more countries. The New Delhi Declaration reaffirmed the global commitment of India to the 2030 agenda placing poverty eradication and food security at its core. As one of the core committee members, that is as the vice chair, India sees the fast-track process as a platform to transform these commitments into tangible action to achieve SDG 1 and 2. Having raised or having helped to escape 248 million people out of multidimensional poverty, as you know, in the recent past, through the all of government and all of society approach, we remain committed to supporting countries in co-developing high-impact country-owned solutions and look forward to deepening collaboration across the alliance. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Kumar, for India's support and continue, as you say, we expect that to continue throughout the programs of the Alliance, providing this essential self-knowledge. Your Excellency, Minister Sama Hamad, you were the last to speak because also you represent the future or the immediate future of here the Fast Track initiative. You have worked with us in the transition team since the Alliance and the launch of the sprints, and regrettably the situation in the ground had put a bit of a stop and an obstacle to concrete implementation of the programs. We have worked with you to work not one, but two programs. It's one of the countries that has two programs under the FAST approach, aimed at the most vulnerable, the most needy, and I think now that our hopes are that the situation will improve and that alongside the essential humanitarian work that is sorely needed, we'll also be able to build up the capacity of the State of Palestine to conduct its own programs. We hope that this can be immediately receive broad support from the members and that you can take these programs up. So let you discuss these programs and expectations for the immediate future.
Thank you. Your Excellencies, distinguished colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. First, I extend my sincere appreciation for the Global Alliance Against Hunger and Poverty, for your leadership, moral vision, and unwavering commitment to bring us all together and to share a humanitarian purpose. Also, I would like to thank the State of Qatar for all the support they are providing for this summit, as well as the support they are providing for my country, especially in the last 2 years, and especially the support we gained to recover our education system under attack. 2 weeks ago, we just launched the results of the high school students, where 30,000 students in Gaza did their high school exam under attack and from rubber. So we are proud that we have been achieving all this despite all misery. Excellencies, Palestine stands at a defining moment in the modern history. After 2 years of unforeseen destruction and human suffering, Gaza lies in ruins. Its homes, schools, hospitals, livelihoods, the social system, everything being destructed. We are talking about almost 18,000 students, 18,000 kids, almost 30 schools have been disappeared, with the teachers, the students, buildings, rooms, desks, everything. And this is the same in all sectors. Also, in West Bank and Jerusalem, where families continue to face relentless attacks, the burning of their homes, belongings, and the destruction of their livelihoods, leaving communities in constant distress and economic suffocation. Yet, the government of the State of Palestine has chosen a path of national reconstruction, rights-based, transparent, and grounded in the social justice. We have an established institutional coordination mechanism for Gaza, West Bank, Jerusalem, for the State of Palestine. This mechanism is more than emergency response. It is the governance backbone of national recovery, ensuring efficiency, transparency, and accountability. At the Global Alliance Fast Track, as a state of Palestine, and as been mentioned, we have two programs. The first one, which is supporting the National Cash Transfer Program, and this is at the heart of our national social protection system. We used to have a national social protection system built in multidimensional poverty alleviation approach, and it was one of the advanced mechanisms in the Middle East. It has destructed in Gaza, but it continued in West Bank. This project will help us to regain it in Gaza, and it will be part of our national relief, early recovery, and reconstruction plan that the government of Palestine submitted to the international community, to the Arabs, to the Muslim countries, and it will be also raised and explained, hopefully, in our upcoming conference for Gaza reconstruction in Cairo soon. The second program, called RIFC, which add great value for our national social protection system, because it focuses on providing the protection, care, and empowerment for our children, for our future. And it is aligned with our efforts to provide nutrition. As you all know, Gaza suffered from starvation, and the most affected are the children. Now we are faced with 500,000 children. If the food enter now, which doesn't enter in the amount that it should be, and we need the supplements for those children, still they will face the impact of this starvation for the remaining of their lives. Our efforts goes beyond aid. They are about restretching the social fabric of our nation that was torn in this world. When I'm telling you a social fabric, each family in Gaza has been destructed, and we need to work together to restretch this social fabric. Excellencies, the fast-track process is not just a coordination tool. It is a lifeline of hope. It connects global commitment with local action, ensuring that every hope and every support goes and reaches the people who need it most. We call upon all partners, Arabs, regional, international, all our colleagues and friends working in the social protection and the social development sector, to make the fast track a living bridge between compassion and accountability. And finally, we hope that this project and these projects, the two projects of the State of Palestine, be recognized as soon as possible, so we can regain the smile on those children that lost a lot and nothing can really fulfill their needs. Thank you.
Your Excellency, thank you. You spoke of need, you spoke of unimaginable hardship, of destruction, but also of hope, of commitment and action. So thank you very much for that. And I think that is a good note to conclude the panel. I would just say that all of these announcements that you are seeing on the website have been developed under the Fast Track initiative. The plans themselves, the partnerships, the announcements, in barely 6 months. So I think that this is a really promising initiative. It does have obstacles. It is a learning process that we all, I think, collective learning exercise on how to work better together under these synergies. But the results that have been achieved in so little time, I think they speak for themselves. So thank you all. and I'll get back our room in the good hands of our Master of Ceremonies. A round of applause, please.
شكرا لكم السيد جودينيو، وشكرا لجميع متحدثي مسار التنفيذ السريع على تلك الإعلانات القوية والملموسة. وأدعو الآن جميع المتحدثين للعودة إلى قاعة الجلسة العامة ونستأنف معكم مناقشاتنا رفيعة المستوى. بسم الله.